So session number 2, and we're going to be really thinking about posture today in our standing poses to start off with. So yoga is very much a balance between strength and effectively pushing and holding and tightening, and actually softening and letting go. And we have that relationship within our breath as well. And our inhale is our energy and our tighten, and our exhale is our letting go. And posture is no exception, because to have good posture, you need strong mid-back and upper back muscles to draw the shoulders back and to shorten the muscles and hold them. And then you need a softness to chest and neck. When you're prolonged time sat at a desk or a bit stressed and tense, shoulders come up, neck tightens. This area gets tight when actually we need it to soften and release, and perhaps we're not working on the muscles which draw the shoulders back. So there's a little bit of focus. So bring your feet to hip distance apart. Naturally, often one foot might turn out, feet might turn in a little. Just try to align them as best you can. We're going to lift the arches. So as you feel, lift the arches up, but make sure you still keep all 4 corners, 2 at the front, 2 at the back of your foot, firmly connected with the floor. Tighten your thigh muscles. Draw up from the very top of your head. We call this the crown of the head. Lift that up towards the ceiling. Bring the hands down by the side. Turn the palms so they're facing forward. Now your shoulder blades on your back, try and flatten them on your back. So we're here flattening the shoulder blades. And often as we flatten the shoulder blades, maybe drawing them back a little, we feel that the chest puffs out. We need to find a bit of softness to the chest. So we're just going to relax in the ribs and allow the chest to sink down. What often happens here is the belly might soften. This is where we need the strength. Tighten the belly, draw the abdominals in towards the spine. Keep the shoulders engaged and strong. Crown of the head lifted. The thigh muscles are strong. Remember, chest relaxed, and tops of shoulders. Soften them as well. Relax here. Soften the neck, lengthen it but soften it. And here's the big key to posture. What we find happens is as the shoulders roll forward, the neck compensates and sticks out. We're drawing the shoulders back, and I want you to press the back of the head backwards. Give yourself a double chin. Belly's tight, thighs are tight. Chest is relaxed, neck is long but soft, jaw is definitely relaxed, brows relaxed. When we hold a good, strong posture, our face does all wonderful, weird things. So soften the facial muscles and find tightness everywhere else. Take a big inhale, lift a little taller from the crown of the head. Remember, press the back of the head backwards. Squeeze the inner thighs. So imagine maybe you've got a block between your inner thighs. Take a squeeze here. Should feel fairly challenging to hold this good posture. We call this mountain pose, Tandasana in yoga. From here, we're going to take a little bit of a chest opener. So we're going to squeeze our arms back, soften a little into the knees, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Hold it here. So here we're now thinking about stretching the chest. Draw your middle finger down a little bit more towards the floor so we get length on the tops of the shoulders and the neck. You see my knees are a little bit spongy, so this is helping to stretch the chest out. Let's use the breath here. Take a giant breath right up into the area that you feel stretched. So right up into the ribs. And then a nice slow releasing exhale. Take another big inhale here, big stretch to the chest, draw those fingers down, shoulder blades together. This time as you exhale, round in the shoulders and imagine that you're rounding over a giant beach ball. So we did this a little bit with lunges on our last lesson. We're going to connect the breath here standing. So we're going to sweep the arms back, squeeze the shoulder blades, fingers energized down towards the floor. Remember, press the back of the head backwards. And then exhale and round. Keeping that nice spongy softness to the legs. Inhale, opening the chest, pressing the neck backwards. Think posture, squeeze the shoulder blades, work the back muscles, and exhale to round. Final one, really work those shoulders and upper back muscles. Squeeze it back, energize fingers down, press the back of the head back. Final big round and hold it there. Link your fingertips together, and as you take your next inhale, straighten the legs and reach the arms right up towards the ceiling. Hold it here. Straight as you can make the arms and elevated with the shoulders. They're drawing and reaching up to the ceiling. Tighten your thigh muscles here, draw your belly in and maybe squeeze your seat a little. Take a big inhale, fill with air and energy. And as you exhale, we're going to take a little side bend to the right-hand side. So we're side bending over. You don't need to go far here. The ribs could go left as much as you're side bending to the right. Hold it there, a couple of breaths. Make space, so breathe into the area, into the side of the body. Next inhale, bring those arms up to the ceiling, and then exhale, take it over to the left. Couple of breaths here, and we'll start to flow between the two. Remember, ribs going right, and you want expansion in the ribs, exactly where you feel the stretch. Inhale back to the ceiling. Let's just take 2 with our breath. Exhale to the right. Inhale, ceiling. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to the ceiling. 1 more each way. Exhale, right. Lovely big side bends. Inhale, ceiling. Exhale, left. Inhale those hands up. Separate the fingers. Sweep the hands wide as you can. Spread the fingers and draw them down. We're going to connect both moves together for 1 time. Bend into the knees. Inhale, open the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Work the shoulder muscles. Exhale, big round. Let them separate and relax. There's that balance. Inhale, tighten the thighs, squeeze the glutes, draw the belly in, and the side bend to the right as you exhale. A little bit of softness here, don't want too much effort in the side. Inhale, back to center, everything tight, and then exhaling over to the left. Inhale, center, spread the fingers wide, exhale. So we're going to work with a variation of sun salutation. We're going to keep that nice flow at the beginning, and we're going to add on a little more just to make sure we're moving our body as much as we can. So we start with the same, and we're going to come into what we call a forward fold in yoga. So soften into the knees, take an inhale, really activate the mid and upper back as you squeeze the shoulders. Exhale, take that big round, a little bit of release and relax on the exhale. Inhale, straighten and tighten, reach everything for the ceiling, and that side bend to the right as you exhale. Bring it back up to the ceiling as you inhale, side bend to the left as you exhale. Inhale, bring it to the ceiling, hold it here, bend in the knees, sweep the arms out to the side, but this time forward fold in the body. So bring the top body down, and we're coming into this hanging position. So this forward fold in yoga, Uttanasana, it's a relaxed position. So if you're finding you're really restricted with your hamstrings, bend your knees a little deeper. Allow your belly and your chest just to soften and hang on top of your thighs. Fingertips, not any effort. No pressure in neck. Maybe give it a nod and a shake, and maybe the shoulders a roll. Everything's soft. Facial muscles are relaxed. We do this part of our pose on an exhale. It's soft. Take a couple of breaths. Make sure there's no tension. We're going to come to what we call a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Bring our hands onto our thighs, and then we're going to straighten our legs and flatten our back. This is great for posture. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and draw the shoulders down the back. Squeeze the elbows into the side of the body. We want to try to make our back as flat as we can and as parallel to the floor as you can. Press the back of the head up towards the ceiling and the crown of the head forwards. Take a little more weight into your toes, and with your seat bones, imagine them lifting up towards the ceiling, maybe even that sensation of separating slightly. Tighten both your thigh muscles and draw your belly in. It should feel like a strong hold. Increase everything, tighten all the muscles as you take a big inhale. And as you exhale, soften again into the forward fold. So bend the knees, let the head go, and relax into a forward fold. And you can feel that balance there between strength and softening. We're going to take 3 with the breath here. So take an inhale, come into your halfway lift, everything tight, thighs engaged, shoulder blades working together and down the back, neck nice and long, back of the head to the ceiling, and then exhale, let it go. And again, 2 more times. We're adding a little breath retention if it wasn't happening naturally already. So after the inhale, hold the breath, tighten everything, squeeze everything in, and then let it go as you exhale. Final one here. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen and tighten and squeeze. Exhale, release and relax. Bend into those knees. Take the hands forward and up as you inhale, reaching them back up to the ceiling, tightening the thighs. Bring them to a prayer position and bring them down in front of the face. Let's flow through it all one more time. Take an inhale, squeeze those shoulder blades, open that chest. Exhale, big round. Link the fingers, inhale, remember, tighten the thighs here, draw the belly in, squeeze the glutes. And then exhale, a little side bend, softening to the right. Inhale, back up towards the ceiling, a little side bend, softening to the left. Inhale, back up to the ceiling. We call this a swan dive to forward fold. Bend the knees, stretch the hands wide. Swan dive down to your forward fold position. Let the head go. Inhale, tighten, lengthen and straighten to your halfway lift. Squeeze the elbows in, squeeze the shoulder blades, breath retention, belly engaged. Exhale, let it go, soften and round. Bend into the knees, this time taking your hands forward and up as you inhale, right up to the ceiling. Tighten and reach, hands to prayer position, exhale. We're going to add on to it here. So if you're on a mat, it's worth coming right to the top of your mat. If you're on the ground, just make sure you've got space behind you so that you can step back. Again, check your feet. So try and align them forward. Remember, we're working our back muscles. So every opportunity to squeeze those shoulder blades together, soften and open in the chest, we're going to take it. So soften into the knees, tops of shoulders away from ears, lengthen the neck, press the neck backwards. Take an inhale, open through the chest. Exhale to round. Draw the belly into the spine as you round. Inhale, engage, lengthen, reach for the ceiling. Half moon, little side bend to the right as you exhale. Inhale, reach it back up, tighten the thighs. Exhale, little side bend to the left. Inhale to the ceiling, that swan dive, soften in the knees, rounding to your forward fold. Halfway lift, lots of tension here. Squeeze those elbows in, shoulder blades, thighs tight, breath retention, and then let it go as you exhale. Fingertips are going to stay on the floor this time. We're going to step our right leg back. So we're in what I call a runner's lunge position. You're then going to drop your right knee down onto the ground and uncurl the toe. Check that you've stepped back far enough so that this left knee is stacked on top of the left ankle. You're going to press down through the feet and sweep the arms up towards the ceiling to our low crescent lunge. Melt those hips forward here. So we're getting a stretch over the front of the right hip, lifting crown of the head up towards the ceiling. And because we're thinking about posture, we're going to bring the hands down by our sides and flatten them. We're going to tuck the chin and really flattening the shoulder blades on the back, lifting crown of the head up, pressing down through the feet. Take a big inhale here. Bring your hands down to your front foot. Tuck that back toe under. We're stepping back to what we call downward facing dog. Lift up the right knee, step it back, and come into a down dog position. Down dog really different from plank. Remember, if your hamstrings are tight, the knees can be bent and you melt that chest back towards them, and we're more in this position. We're going to bring our weight forward to a plank pose. And then drop the knees down onto the ground. We're going to lower ourselves to the ground, ideally keeping the upper arms really close to our sides of our body. As you take an inhale, engage in the belly, lift it up off the floor, and then just lower yourself slowly down to the ground. So working the back muscles to help draw the shoulders back. We've got our hands down by the side. We're not putting too much pressure through them. We want length to the back of the neck, so we've still got to have a little bit of a tuck of our chin. We're going to start by working the feet and then all the way up to the upper body. I want you to press the tops of the feet onto the ground, and you may even notice your calf muscles begin to tighten there. There's the strength element. Then I want you to tighten both your thigh muscles, so another bit of strength happening here. Squeeze your seat muscles, your glute muscles, give them a really good squeeze, and pull the belly on a little because that protects the lower back. And now we're going to start to think about opening through the chest and the shoulders. So you're going to lift up, but only a little lift. So you keep the lower part of your ribs on the ground, and you're looking down so you've got a nice long neck. Try not to push through the hands. Draw the shoulder blades down, lengthening the neck, squeezing. You're really working here the whole back of the body in this cobra pose. The option just to stay here or release the hands down by the side, palms facing down. And then lift the arms as well. And then squeeze the little fingers together behind you. Remember, keep that chin tucked. It's an intense pose. Hold it for as long as you can. Take one more big inhale, energize. And then bring hands back to the shoulders and soften as you exhale. Keep your knees on the ground. Curl your toes under. Lift your belly a little bit off. And then push into your hands and come back into a child's pose. So remember, we bring our seat onto our heels and our head down onto the floor, arms reaching forward. Soften here in your face and your jaw. Enjoy the quiet and the peace. So yoga is that balance as well between stronger poses and quietness, between knowing when to push and when to let go. It's also a personal discovery, what's right for you. Let's stretch out our other hip and bring ourselves back to our standing position. So we're going to have to lift up and come into down dog. Going to step our right foot forward. So remember, if it doesn't come all the way, you could grab the right hand and lift it and step it forward. We really want to make sure the right knee is above the right ankle. Drop the left knee down and then push into the feet to lift the arms up for low crescent lunge. Allow the hips to melt forward. Get the stretch on the left front of hip. A tight area if you've been sat at a desk for a long time. And then we want to work posture, so we bring the arms down. Flatten the shoulder blades. Relax the tops of shoulders away from the ears. We don't want too much tension here. We want the muscles of the back to work to draw the shoulders back without too much tension in the neck. We get enough there from just stresses of the day. Tuck the chin, crown of the head lifted, jaw nice and soft. Getting a hip stretch. You're getting strength work. Back and that front leg. So soften where you can, face, relax where it feels good. Take a big inhale. Bring your hands to that front foot, and this time we step forward. So we step forward and back into that forward fold position. So the head's going to relax. We're going to take the inhale, come into our halfway lift. Remember, this is our energy. Straighten and tighten, squeeze the shoulder blades. And then exhale, let it go and relax. Bend into the knees. You're going to take those hands forward and up, reaching them for the ceiling. Bring them to prayer position. And exhale, bring them in front of the body. We're going to take a little bit more strength work now down on the mat. So that was a sun salutation with a little bit of variation to work posture. So if you come down onto a mat or onto the ground, coming onto all fours. So to work a little bit of our abdominals, because they're also really important and still stabilizing through the shoulders, we're going to take our right leg out behind us and lift the right leg up just a little bit. It doesn't need to come high. What happens if you lift it high? The right hip all lifts off and you start to get a little unbalanced in pelvis and lower back. So flex that right foot, drawing the toes towards the knee. And if you had a torch on your right knee, imagine you were pointing the knee down towards the mat. Draw the belly up. So rather than hammocking in the belly and the ribs, you're lifting them up towards the spine. We're thinking about posture, so tuck the chin and press the back of the head up and lengthen the crown of the head forward. Now this may feel completely enough for you, just working the muscles here. If you want a little more of a challenge, you're going to lift the opposite hand off, so the left hand off, and reach the left hand forward. And this is what we call tiger pose. Reaching that left hand, turn it so the thumb's facing up as if you're shaking somebody's hand. Reach forward with left fingertips and back with the right heel. Keep the chin tucked. Big inhale, draw the belly in, hold and reach and tighten. As you exhale, release them both down. Let's take child's pose before we do the other side. Belly onto thighs, and this time bringing the hands behind you. Let the shoulders relax. Find softness. Tune back into your breath. Really focus on the exhales. They're our letting go, our relaxing, our releasing part of our breath. Help to keep us calm. Let's come back up now to tabletop, all four position, to do the other side. So lining ourselves up, shoulders over wrists, knees underneath the hips. Let's stretch the left leg out to lift the left leg up. Not too high. Flex the foot. Imagine that torch trying to point it down towards the mat. We don't want the hammock, so lift the belly up. That may mean the foot drops a little bit, and that's absolutely fine. Push the floor away, strengthening into the shoulders. Then remember to press the back of the head up towards the ceiling. Length from that crown of the head forward all the way to the heel. Holding here. Hug the ribs up as well, so really working the front side of the body. And then if you want to take that weight into the left hand and lifting the right arm up, you can. Imagine you're shaking somebody's hand, thumb facing up. Reaching fingertips forward, in opposition to that left heel, back. Don't lose control of ribs or belly. Squeeze your left seat. Take a big inhale, tighten and reach everything. And then release it down as you exhale. Coming back to tabletop. Let's take a few spinal movements to get the spine and the mid-spine particularly moving. So we're going to work with just the area we've been thinking about, which is our upper body with a sort of half cat-cow. So I want you to push the floor away and see if you can separate between your shoulder blades. So really separating here. You may not have that much movement, but we're really thinking about that mid-upper back. And then you're going to see if you can draw the shoulder blades together. Let's connect the breath. Take an inhale here. Look a little forward. Just a little bit, not too much pressure on the neck. And then as you exhale, round. So we're taking cat-cows, but our focus is mid and upper back. That thoracic area and shoulders which get tight. Let's transfer this to the whole body. Next time you round, let's bring in the lower back and the pelvis, tuck under and round. You'll feel the difference in movement. And as you inhale, lifting seat bones, squeezing shoulders, looking forward. You may even feel that you get more movement as you bring the lower back in to the upper back. Sometimes that happens as you allow the lower back to be free, the upper back has a little more movement. I've got to basically get the balance between the two. One more time, inhaling into cow pose, that's when the belly drops, shoulder blades squeeze, and exhaling, rounding into cat pose. Don't worry if you didn't get the breath right though, it'll just come. Come to a neutral spine. We're going to look over our left shoulder all the way down to our left toes. Take the hips a little to the right and then move them a little back. And you should feel a little stretch to the outer hip, maybe into the side of the body as well. So we're looking all the way over. Keep looking towards those left toes. Hips have gone right and back. Call this wag the tail, a bit like an excited Labrador. Let's bring our weight back to the center again. Look all the way over your right shoulder to your right foot. Take the hips to the left and then take them back. Feel that nice side stretch into the side of the hips. So we've worked the hips through our low crescent lunge and through the front of the hips with low crescent lunge, and then this is the outer part of the hip. Let's connect our breath here just like we do with cat-cow. So inhale as you come to the center and exhale, looking over that left shoulder, hips going right and back. Inhale, center, looking over the right shoulder, hips going left and back. One more time, each side. Nice long exhales. Connecting with that sense of relax and release. Giving permission for the muscles to let go. I think I did an extra one there. It just feels too good. Let's come back to the center. We're going to roll over and come onto our backs. So lying down on your back here, hug the knees into the chest. Squeeze the thighs as tightly as you can to the belly. Don't lose that chin tucking connection. So lengthen the crown of the head away from you, lengthen the back of the neck here. Really nice one to stretch out the lower back. And then we're going to keep our right thigh in towards our chest and stretch our left leg long. Bring the heel down onto the floor. So we're pinning in here, stretching away with the other foot. Point through that left toe so you can get length over the hip. We're going to turn this into a spinal twist. So we might need to move our hips a little over to the right. So sometimes bending the left knee and moving the hips, physically lifting them and moving them to the right. And then you guide this right knee all the way over. Now it may not come all the way to the floor. Normally the foot can come down. Sometimes you need to adjust and jump the hips a little further. And then we're opening through our right shoulder. So again, thinking about posture because we're thinking about stretch to the front of the right shoulder. Now it may feel comfortable in your shoulders to cactus, so to be in this cactus shape, or it may be that your arm down by your side, or if that neither of those feel comfortable, you could just have it internally rotated on the ribs. Have a try. And then with the neck, lift it and rotate it to look towards that right elbow. I'm using my left hand to hold that right knee. You can deepen the stretch here using your breath, so taking some inhales into the ribs. And then some soft releasing exhales. 2 more breaths like this. Embrace that stretch with the inhale and that letting go with the exhale. Finding that balance. To come out of this safely, bring the right hand down, release your hand. You could even help that right knee up. Bend both the knees and bring the hip back to the center. Hug both knees into the chest again. And then keep hold of the left knee this time. Extend the right leg. Straighten it, point through the toes. This is helping to lengthen over the front of the right hip while squashing the left thigh in. It's supposed to help with digestion. And let's turn this move into our spinal twist on the other side. So bend the right knee just a smidgen. Lift the hips up, move them to the left, and then guide that left knee all the way over. And you can jump the hips a little further if that feels better. Sometimes people need something underneath this top knee, and you can see you could just use your fist to hold it underneath, or maybe just it balances there. And then work with posture, so working with the left shoulder, trying to open it as much as you can. Either cactusing the arms or having them down by your side, and then lift the neck up and rotate it to look towards your left elbow or left forearm. And coming into spinal twist this way can feel quite a big, deep, intense stretch. So work with the part of the breath that you need to. If you haven't got much of a stretch and you want more, then big, big inhales, expanding in the ribs so that you stretch in between the ribs, the intercostal muscles, or maybe a sense of softening and relaxing. Depending on what you need. Taking just a couple more breaths here. To come out of it safely, bring that left hand down, lift up with the left knee. Make sure you jump the hips back to the center, hug the knees in one more time. We're going to lift the upper body up now to get a nice rounding with the upper body. So lift up here, chin to chest. Take a wrap of your shins. See if you can bring your forehead towards your knees. And then relax it back. We're going to have a little relaxation. Stretch the feet out. Roll the toes out to the side so they're nice and wide, the feet wider than hips. Palms facing up. Walk the shoulder blades underneath you. So we continue with gently relaxing the posture. Lengthen the neck, tuck the chin. And then close the eyes and start to focus on the breath. Nice long releasing exhales. As you exhale, relax both your feet. You don't even have to move them, just let them soften. Bringing your attention and awareness to the feet. And exhaling and just letting them go. As you next exhale, soften and relax both your thigh muscles. As you exhale, soften and relax both your seat muscles. As you exhale, relax your belly. And as you exhale, relax and soften the ribs. As you exhale, relax both your hands. As you exhale, relax both your arms. Let them become heavy. And as you exhale, bring attention to the shoulders and allow the shoulders to soften and melt back onto your mat or the ground. Take another exhale here, as this is our area, our focus today, and let it relax and soften. One more breath focusing on the shoulders, allowing them to become heavy and melt back onto the floor. Bring awareness now to your face, to all the facial muscles, the jaw, the eyes, the forehead. And as you exhale, soften your facial muscles. Relax. As you exhale, relax the whole body now. Allow the whole body to be heavy and at ease. Just 2 breaths, enjoying the sensation of softening and releasing with your exhale. And of course, you're in your own home, so you could stay here taking a longer relaxation if you would like. Or just deepen the breath and bring a little movement to fingers and toes. It can feel good to bring the feet together and reach the arms above the head for a full body stretch. And then carefully rolling, preferably onto your right side, pushing up through the hands. Coming to a cross-leg seated position. Bring your hands onto your knees, have your eyes closed. Flatten the shoulder blades again, tuck the chin, lift up from the crown of the head. Take one big inhale through the nose and sigh out through the mouth. Relax the shoulders. There's that balance. Hands to heart center. Namaste, everybody. Thank you for practicing with me today, and I hope you found that balance between openness and softness and the muscles working to improve posture and find a bit of emotional balance.